What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? So y'all know what this is. Another what it is video. It might not be as long. I don't care, but y'all know I get to talking and it just be going on and on. But anyway, I hope y'all had a good week so far. Okay, I can't wait for How to Get Away with Murder come on later on tonight. But I'm trying to go ahead and get this what it is video out the way. Really not much that's been happening, like I said. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Um, so voting, very important. Early voting is going on now for most states, probably all states, but I know for sure here in Illinois that it's going on. I also saw this woman post something, and I was looking on the Shade Room. She posted a video. Well, they post her video on the Shade Room, and she was explaining how she voted on one of the electronic machines that she was using to vote. She placed her vote, and she filled in that she wanted Hillary Clinton to do it, for the presidency. And when she submitted it, it had jumped and put Donald Trump. So what you need to do, if that happens, you have to report it right away, okay? Don't just be like, let it go or whatever. No, it's important that you report it if you see some funny shit going on, okay? Because, we don't want the wrong person. Like, at this point in time, you can't really say we don't want the wrong person. It's literally the lesser two evils. And I say that because Donald and Hillary got shit on them, okay? But the only person that really makes more sense at this moment is Hillary Clinton because, she has the most experience in politics and office and being in the White House and things of that such. And I mean, you have your third party candidates and your independents and all this stuff, but at this point in time, they're not going to win. And it's very unfortunate that they didn't put as much effort into making them known, giving them a stance and a chance to be known to people so that they can have another options. And like a lot of people don't even know other candidates that are, in the running that are outside of Republican and Democrats, But that's just how things are. Um, Donald Trump still being Donald Trump, according to him, he's winning in the polls and shit still rigged and all that stuff. And it just amazes me how these Republicans are getting on TV and actually defending his actions. I've seen parts of that Megyn Kelly interview that she did recently with Newt Gingrich, and he was just coming at her, trying to make it seem as if she was wrong for bringing up the fact that Donald had these sexual assault things on his record and women coming out left and right. And another woman came out, she's an adult star, saying back in the day that he tried to pay her $10,000 to touch and do all this stuff, fuck or whatever. And it disgusts me that the response that, even the women were giving her, saying, well, she's an adult film star. I mean, she already get paid to have sex on film anyway. That's her choice to do that, okay? Just because of somebody's profession, if somebody says no, you still supposed to abide by that. No means no, yes means yes, okay? No does not mean no to people who aren't in the sex business, okay? That's not how it works, okay? That's her right to say that, okay? You cannot, and they justify it like that. I hate that shit. And Newt gonna say to Kelly, well, you fantasizing about sex. That's what you all about. No, she's calling the motherfucker out for what he is, okay? That what he said was sexual assault, no matter how you look at it. And then the people that's agreeing with him on her comments and stuff like that, it just goes and show the way of this world. And, people will support any type of ignorance because technically that's probably what they've been thinking and feeling inside anyway. It was this guy. He was out there. He posed as a construction worker. Okay, took a pickaxe to his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Okay, took a pickaxe to Donald Trump's star and fucked that shit up. Okay, and they filmed it and was like, "Why were you doing this?" And he said, I've had 4 to 5 family members who were sexually assaulted. I cannot be in support of somebody who was here for that and who will do some stuff like that. And I was like, all right. And the whole time I'm literally thinking that if that was a black man, he would have been handcuffed and tackled down and all that stuff. He wouldn't have got no interview like that. But Some of these white folks, they fed up. Okay, they using their common sense, and they're like, yeah, I get it. I'm a Republican too. Um, if they're Republican, I'm a Republican, but I'm not here for the rhetoric that he's spewing. Okay, I'm not here for what he stands for. Right? We need a better candidate. And unfortunately, this is what we have. So it's forcing them to go either an independent route or to Hillary. You know, um, it's quite sad. This whole election period is just draining. I can't wait till it's over with. And y'all know November 8th is a Tuesday, and that's my mama's birthday. Ciao. I swear, to be honest with y'all, if y'all don't hear from me November 8th, if a new episode of If Loving You Was Wrong, that's probably the only time you will hear from me on Twitter, tweeting during the episode. And then when that's over with, I'm getting the fuck off of it. I'm going to put the video up, tweet the link, and you ain't going to hear shit else from me until after the results come in. Because, girl, my nerves going to be messed up, and I'm just going to be tired at that point. Like, can we just go ahead and get this shit over with? Okay? And I know they say that Hillary probably up in the polls, and I hate to put it out there, but we can't depend on that because anything can happen within these next few days, week or so that we have until November 8th. And then y'all go out there and vote, and y'all have to remember that not only one can win the popular vote, but it's also up to the electoral college. You got to get a certain amount of electoral votes to actually grab the presidency, you know. So it can go either way at this point. No one, Hillary ain't guaranteed, and Donald ain't guaranteed, you know. So, child, we just got to pray about it. Um, Also, talking about prayer, pray for Italy because they had an earthquake out there. And I was just looking at this documentary on the National Geographic Channel talking about how Italy, home to some the volcanoes and stuff like that. And then I hear about this 6.4, I think it was 6.4 or 6.6 magnitude earthquake that happened. And then it had a powerful aftershock, that was like at least 5 point something. And buildings collapsed, and at least two people that I heard of in a building passed away. A lot of people injured, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So pray for them. Still pray and try to help the people in Haiti because I'm pretty sure that they are still struggling and still going through the cleanup process and all this stuff that's been happening ever since Hurricane Matthew. I'm just, if you see my other video, I've went off about that. I literally just broke into the middle of my Queen Sugar video just going off about that because it's just unfortunate that, shit happens and then the very next day after it's done, we don't hear shit else about it. Okay, it's all pray for this, pray for that, and then the next day we forget about it. Especially when it comes to predominantly black people or black countries. We don't hit nothing media coverage all on it or whatever like that. We may hear about it in the first couple of days or so, but after that we don't hear shit else. And I'm just mad about it. I'm really am. Um Moving on from that. I did that. I said that. Girl, I wrote the shit down. Um Speaking of some other stuff, the Eric Garner case. And if y'all remember, Eric Garner was the guy who was arrested for selling loose cigarettes outside of a store that he was, usually be at. And they choked him to death, and he was saying that he can't breathe. And they didn't charge the cop or anything. And now I think a higher up, different police force, they're about to charge him for his role in the death of killing Eric Garner. It took 2 years to get to this point, and it's very unfortunate. It took 2 years to get to this point when the guy who filmed what was going on, he's in jail now for I think 5 years or whatever because they want to go into his past and bring up his past wrongdoings and shit like that. And I'm like, that wasn't even warranted. Okay, that wasn't even warranted. But we just gotta see how this goes. I'm not even finna hold my breath because if history, shows itself and repeats itself, yeah, he might get indicted, but they might not do nothing about it, and it's very unfortunate. Um, On to some entertainment news. Well, Jared Fogle, remember Mr. Subway, and all that scandal came out earlier this year about him, hiring teenagers and fascinating about teenagers, whether male or female, having sex with them and all this stuff. He was married. I think he had 2 kids or something. He had kids himself, okay? And he got caught up. They gave him 15 years. He admitted to it. Child pornography, all this stuff. Him and his partner or whatever. Girl, the ex-wife, because they're divorced now, she said, fuck this shit, disgusting ass nigga. All right? She said she is about to sue the Subway franchise because they knew before she married this man what he was about and what he was into, and never divulged that information, and basically covered that shit up. And they was all for their profit. And people do that. Companies do that. If it's about their bottom line, if it's, something that's going to get out and hurt them, they're going to keep shit on and they're going to cover stuff up. Okay, some companies will let you go and be like, no, we can't be a part of this. We don't want this to happen and we don't want this to be associated with our names. And other people would just keep you on because whatever you're doing, is these commercials and you become a familiar face, and then we find out about your activities. Okay, we don't want to just fire you because we're not really sure how, sales and stuff and revenue is going to, go, and how it's going to look on our Subway people. So we're just going to keep you on. All right. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. Okay. You can't tell me that they didn't know the stuff. I'm pretty sure they knew every single thing, and this wasn't the first time that it came up. This was just the fact that somebody leaked it out to the public, and that's how he got caught. Hey, take them for all they worth, girl. Go ahead. Um, Justin Bieber. I haven't spoken about Justin Bieber in a minute because I don't understand why we need to, but Justin, sometimes when these kids get into the business and they get into the business at a young age, they're so used to stuff being given to them, and then when they try to grow up, it's hard for the public to look at them as an adult because we're so used to looking at them when they're younger, and then they don't know how to you know take the pressure of being an adult, or living your life all this time in the spotlight, growing up, going through puberty, all this stuff in the spotlight. And then you got Justin Bieber, who just, I don't know what's going on with him. You literally get pissed off in the middle of your concert, and this is not the first time that this has happened. You get pissed off because they won't be quiet while you try to speak or whatever, and you just walk off and throw a little tantrum and throw the mic down. And y'all pay. I see. That's what I won't do. Y'all pay for this stuff. If I know this person has a behavior or a possibility of doing some fuck shit, I will just continue to listen to your music. If I really am a fan like that, I'm not about to buy a ticket because I don't want to leave being disappointed. All right. So what I would do was just look at the live performances on YouTube, and I will continue to play the record on my iPod or my phone. Okay. That's what I would do. I would not waste $200-$300 on you because you threw a tantrum, you and your feelings that day, and they won't be quiet. Bitch, we are at a big ass concert. You can't shush a whole goddamn room, a whole stadium, a whole arena. Hell no. Okay? Like, get out your feelings. Alright, you are supposed to be a performer. You're supposed to be an entertainer. You're supposed to be a professional. That means that you're supposed to get on the stage and we're supposed to just ride out with you and, be here for the show that you're about to put on. We're not supposed to know that you having a personal problem or something just ain't right, or, other stuff is going on. No, you're supposed to get out there like ain't nothing happened. You're supposed to push through it. And if it becomes that difficult that you can't, you cancel the show or postpone it until a later day. And then you put out a message about what's going on, or saying, that it's canceled or whatever. You don't get up there and show your ass like that. Like, and you wonder why the press and media talk about you. Because you give them that ammunition. Okay? Another person, Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates just got sentenced to 180 days in jail for kicking a fan in the chest, that woman. Now, I heard that the woman, grabbed at his private parts or whatever, or grabbed at his clothes. Either fucking way, it did not warrant to be kicked in the chest, and it was a woman, okay? And people I've seen interviews of him afterwards, with his newfound life or whatever. He didn't get married, and I don't want no woman touching me other than my wife and all this shit. Girl, shut up. The way he talked, like he know it all and all this shit. I don't understand how y'all like this motherfucker. Like he just ugh. He's just so to me, okay? I don't know now. One song of his, I seen a couple of interviews and it just turned me all the way the fuck off, okay? And the way that he was talking when that subject came up, it was almost as if he didn't give a damn about the fact that he kicked the girl in the chest. He had the right to and all this shit. No, you didn't have the right to, okay? That's what happens when you go to concerts, especially when you go. It's not like you selling out arenas, bitch. You are in like a club-like atmosphere where everybody is literally this close to the stage. This is the stage and this is the first row, and we all on here, and I'm touching the stage or whatever. So if you right there, hell yeah, I'm gonna touch. Bitch, if Beyonce was right there, I'm touching all on her legs and shit. Okay, they gonna have to put my ass out. If Janet was right there, bitch, let me rub your belly, bitch. Let me rub your belly. You can rub mine. Come on. That's me. That's me. I can admit that shit. Okay, just like, and speaking of Beyonce, Beyonce being grabbed, okay? Literally grabbed. Did she kick somebody? Did she punch somebody? Hell no. A nigga slapped her on the ass. She didn't even tell him to get the fuck out. She said, all right now. Okay? He's just getting a little excited. It's cool. Julius, kind of fuck. Julius, calm your ass the fuck down. That's Beyonce. Okay? Why you can't take that lesson? Like, god damn, y'all don't know how to be professionals at this shit. And that's why you only performing where you performing at. Okay? That's all I gotta say on that shit. Gilbert Arenas, I always wondered. I don't. Let me stop lying. Every time I see his name come up and all this drama that comes out, I'm like, is he a actual basketball player still, or is he a former basketball player? And I guess he's a former basketball player. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just know every time we hear him, we don't even hear about him and his skills and what he could or could have done, and on the court and all this stuff. We just hear about the baby mama drama between him and Laura Govan. Okay, and it's unfortunate. Them sisters and their issues is just a lot. And I don't even know if it's really just the men in their lives. I'm pretty sure it's the men, but they play a role in it too. Like, it's a lot of stuff that's going on. Like, it can't just be one person in this relationship or whatever it is just fucking all this stuff up. And now, he's one of those type of people, like, you paying all this. And I always heard about the amount of money that he be paying each month to this and for that. And now he's saying that he's about to get his last installment of his $111 million NBA contract or whatever that he had. And after that, it's a possibility that he won't be able to afford to, keep his kids in private school. And I'm sitting here like, so you couldn't just, I'm pretty sure you really just been sitting around not doing nothing. You didn't invest in anything. You don't have a side hustle. You don't have a commentative job or, anything else that's lucrative that can make you money all this time. Like, you live on the internet being petty, okay? Hanging around Nick Young and all this stuff and, just saying petty stuff. And now you want to cry that you're about to be broke a little bit or some shit. I think he lying. I really do. I think he lying and he want some attention. But let me tell y'all something. If y'all ever make it big, and y'all get a large amount of money, do not be so eager to spend that money. What you should do, because this is what I would do. You got some bills that have not been paid, pay it off right then and there. You got student loans that need paid, pay it off right then and there. Then you worry about going ahead and getting you a decent sized house. Not no huge ass house, a decent sized house, okay? And then maybe one or two cars for the family, you and your wife or you and your boo or whoever. And then if you got enough and all your stuff and your bills and stuff together, you want to buy, your parents a house or home, you buy another decent sized home, reasonable. So just in case something happened, you will be able to take care of the note even if you don't have that much money on you no more, okay? And also look into investing stuff, okay? Look into investing. You need to learn how to manage your money and not just spend it all at once or spend it on frivolous things, okay? And I bring that up because on Fix My Life that was on this past Saturday, Marie Holmes, the girl that won the $188 million lottery, okay? And y'all went to her house, and then I just didn't understand. One of her houses, she had this big plantation style house, okay? Because Yana said it's a fucking plantation. It was huge, okay? Mind you, she didn't already spent. When you take a whole lump sum of a money like that, they took the taxes out. So it's not the 188 million that she's gonna get. She probably got 100, And you deduct the fact that you took 21 million to bail your boyfriend out or slash fiance out of three times, who's into the drug game, all right? And that was a waste because he's still about to go to jail. And he went to jail on this episode, okay? For 5 years. No, for 7 years. Mind you, the boyfriend was 32 and he looked at least a good 46, all right? She's 27 years old, okay? And y'all are just going around the yard and just looking at stuff. And I'm just like, you gonna go broke real soon. You just gonna go broke real soon. You got a place for your mom in Seattle, and that's where 3 of your 4 children are living. I don't understand how is it that your children are not all living with you when you said you brought this house so that they can have room to play. Your children can live with you in that home, okay? I don't give a damn what it is that you think you're doing. Even if you got a job, bitch, you got enough money to hire you a fucking nanny or to hire or let your mama come and stay. And I understand y'all had some issues. Y'all need to sit down and talk about that shit. Mama would have been sitting up in the house and we would have been talking about that. Or, you could have had another family member that you trust. Or you could have just hired a nanny or some shit. Put them motherfuckers in school. Go do what you got to do and be there when they get out of school. There is no reason that your child should not be, your children, when you got that much, should not be with you. Okay? And then the kicker here. We're not going to discuss the fact that Lamar, her fiance, couldn't spell business right. He literally said BISNESS. I thought it was a U in there somewhere, but okay. To each his own. But the kicker is when Yana talked to the mom said she, didn't want to tell her daughter how it is that she came about those numbers. That she was the one that picked the numbers and told her to go to the store and get the lottery ticket. And so the numbers was her son that passed away, birthday, and the age that he would be, and all this stuff. And the girl never knew that. You know what? Mama good, because had I found that shit out and I would have known that, my mama gave me the numbers and I put the money in to buy the tickets or whatever, I would have gave my mama half, okay? And I'm not the type of person, like, even right now, I hate when people get money and then all the time you see these big old entourage. You got a person for this and got a person for that. You got a person. No, I don't need all that. No, if you were not in my life before I got this, you won't be in my life that close and looking for a handout because you won't get it. Don't come up here like, girl, remember when we was this and we was in school and this? No, bitch, that was a long time ago. I ain't talked to you in years. You ain't finna get shit. If you ain't my mama, you ain't my sisters, my grandparents. I don't know about my dad, but if you ain't none of the people and the friends that I had before, don't come to me, okay? Don't come to me. All right, that was trifling. That was a trifling ass episode, but I hope she learned something from it. British. If y'all remember Basketball Wives from 2 seasons ago, LA, British was on there. British Williams. I think she was on there when Sunday was on there too. Sunday Carter. She had this boyfriend who played basketball overseas named Lorenzo. Now, girl, we all knew Lorenzo was cheating on your ass. And they was actually on last seasons of Celebrity Boot Camp, Celebrity Marriage Boot Camp. And I just never liked Bridge because she seemed so much like she was in the relationship and was just all for attention and, you know, gold digger tendencies. I don't want to call her that, but that's what it seemed like. And so now you throw him a birthday party. I remember when you threw it. It was his birthday when she confronted him that he was cheating and shit. That shit was funny as fuck. You know, the Shade Room be putting all the videos up there. And all that stuff. But of course, after that, I guess things just didn't work themselves out, and she finally left his ass. And he goes on a rant on the internet talking about selling her purses and stuff like that. Then he apologized, and then girl, we see her putting up as her man crush every day, Soldier Boy. She out with Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy talking about, you know, you better than my last bitch and all that shit. I'm like, and then she's really defending this relationship, and I'm confused. So you go from one relationship with a cheater, and that's what your thing was. You said that your grandma saw him out with some other bitch or whatever. Fine. But then you go get into a relationship with somebody who is a known, documented cheater. Okay? That's the reason why his last relationship did not work. Because he just kept cheating all over the fucking place and he was damn near abusive. Okay? And so you go from bad to worse because one probably got more money than the other. Girl, you make no sense. But hey, if that's what you want to do, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you have it. Poof. And Soldier Boy and Bow Wow, nobody asked for Nobody asked for a joint album from y'all. I don't know if it's been released, but I did see that y'all was coming out with something. Ain't nobody asked for no album from y'all. Look, you tried to do a joint album with Omarion Bow Wow. Only like one song off of it, and that did shit, okay? And so you can stop it. I thought y'all was... Now, remember when they used to beef? Remember when Bow Wow and Soulja Boy had that beef and Bow Wow had them niggas posted up. Like, Bow Wow, you like 18, 19 years old trying to act hard as shit. Had them niggas posted up in that little ass room coming at Soulja Boy so hard, and it was just so fucking funny. I said, who you threatening? We ain't feeling nothing from this shit. Boy, go sit down and eat some Cocoa Puffs. Like, stop it. But, yeah. And let me tell you something. So, y'all know Bow Wow from Ohio. Child, he was trying to come back to Cleveland. Child. For the Cavaliers and shit like that, because they was doing their ring ceremony plus the first game or whatever. All in them comments were saying, nigga, don't bring your ass back to Cleveland. You don't show no love to Cleveland. You always out in ATL. Fuck you, nigga. Cleveland don't want you and all this shit. I said they was just going ham on Bow Wow. Because at one point, I forgot that he was from the Midwest. Bitch. Hey, niggas be knowing that niggas don't forget. Don't play. What else? Okay. One more thing before I talk about The Walking Dead. That's going to be the last thing I talk about. Congratulations to Ciara and Russell. Okay. It was her birthday a couple of days ago, and it was Monica's birthday. Usher had a birthday too. All the people that I love are, you know, that I actually look to. I'm so disappointed in Usher because Usher put out a CD that's called Heart's Love, and it came and went. It literally came and went, you know, and I don't know what's going on with Usher. Like, you waited all this time, you had all these false starts to an album, and then you put this out, and it just felt like it's not the real Usher that we know and we've grown to love. My face, y'all see my face getting red and shit? That's because they turned the heat on. What the fuck? It's like I'm blushing and shit. No, it's just hot up in this hole. But anyway, you put out this album and it was just not you. Everything that he's done after, I'm not even gonna say Confessions, because the album after that, that had Moving Mountains on there. Oh my God, what is that? I love that album. I actually like that album, and people dissed that album. I was like, that was actually a good album. But that album, after that album, everything just started falling off for me. Like, I just couldn't get into Usher. This new Usher is like he's trying to, you know, stay up with the young folks and not the 36, 37-year-old that he is, okay? and it's getting quite irritating. I just want him to go back to his Usher sound and not try to be so commercialized and sound like these young kids that are out now, okay? Because these young kids that are out now, they're not going to be out, they're not going to have longevity. You have longevity by being you, okay? So the formula that you had in the beginning was working, all right? Go back to that, okay? You're not being true to yourself, and we see it. And that's why your shit ain't selling like it's supposed to. And that's for any artist, okay? Moving on from that, what was I saying? Ciara. It was her birthday. She turned 31. It was Drake's birthday. He turned 30. I'm just so happy that I finally got some people that's older than me. I be like, I'm older than this person? God damn. I was like, okay. Now y'all know how I feel about Ciara. I used to think Ciara could sing. I'm going to be quite honest. I don't give a shit what nobody say. I used to think Ciara could sing when she first came out. That was me being young and dumb and not really understanding what vocals meant, okay, bitch? Because Ciara came out when I was a kid, okay? And I think I was just, you know, I was just fooled by the fact that she can dance her ass off. So I was like all the way here for Ciara until I got a little bit older, and I was like, girl, you can't sing worth a lick, but you can dance your ass off and you look pretty for right now. But you know, it is what it is. Ciara then came about that slump, and you know, regardless of if she putting out an album, she's still making herself known. And so I respect her about that. She still got her hustle going on. You know, she's with Revlon, she's with a modeling agency. She didn't had a fuckboy as a baby daddy. Now she got a husband, a good ass husband who's about to be her baby daddy again. You know, and this is what I want to go in on. Let me move this. You whack dumb bitches. See, this is what I hate about social media these days, because social media give a voice to ignorance, to nigga hood logic that makes no sense, into the pitiful, the miserable, and all around stupidity. Okay? I've literally seen, I logged on to Twitter earlier today and saw people going in on Ciara, calling her a hoe because she got pregnant by her husband. And according to one person, it's because you just had another man's baby and now you all of a sudden pregnant with another man. It's too soon. I don't care if they married. Lil Future just had a birthday, right? So what, he 3-4 years old? So how long she gotta wait to have a fucking baby by her husband? How many more years? Um, so you mean to tell me even if Ciara had the baby and then a year later got married to Russell and got pregnant by him a year later, and their kid's gonna be at least a year and 9 months or 2 years apart, I don't give a fuck. She got pregnant by her husband, okay? This whole logic that y'all talking about, y'all need to stop that shit. And it just shows how miserable and bitter you are, male or female, if you think that being pregnant by somebody's husband and their husband and wife makes them a hoe. What the fuck do you... If she would have been a hoe, if by your standards and your logic that because she's married she's a hoe and it's because she's, you know, having another man's baby, mind you, that's her husband. Imagine how y'all would have, these same people, I just can imagine what they would have said had she fucked around and got pregnant by Russell before they even got married and before it even came out that they were engaged and had a baby. Oh, she a hoe then. Oh, she would have been all hoes and bitches in the book too, huh? But now she's married, and if you want to be biblical about it, isn't that how you're supposed to do? Yeah, she made her, you know, I'm not going to call baby Future a mistake because children, you know, they're blessings from God and everything. But maybe it was planned and maybe that's what was going to happen because she did think that she was going to get married to Future, but shit didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. Okay? At least she was engaged to him. Not saying that, you know, by the Bible standards is okay, but you know, at least she was on that road to getting married to this motherfucker, but shit just didn't work out. Okay, he turned out to be an ain't shit nigga. All right, but then she meets this man, and she's been in bliss, happy bliss, from the day she met him to the day that she got married to him to this very moment that we are in right now. marital bliss too. And then on her birthday, they reveal that she's pregnant, and you want to call her a hoe because she's pregnant by her husband? I would have been okay if you would have called her a hoe if we found out that the baby ain't his. Okay? But that's her husband. Her husband knocked her ass up. And what are you talking about is too soon? A lot of people, especially back in the day when they actually did believe in, no sex before marriage, on that first wedding night, some of them motherfuckers, your parents probably was conceived on the first day, that your parents, if your grandparents were no thoughts or whatever, probably was conceived the first time they had sex, okay? Unprotected. What the fuck did you expect? That makes no fucking sense to call a married woman a hoe when she's pregnant by her husband. Come the fuck on. I thought in the Bible it says that you're supposed to be married before you have sex. That's what they did. They had sex and they got pregnant. Be fruitful, and fulfill, the earth and all this shit. I just don't. I mean, if you want to take it there, we can take it there. We can quote all this stuff. But I'm just still trying to think about how is one a hoe for getting pregnant by their husband. You guys, y'all got to stop hating and being bitter like that. Because and it's mostly the women that I was seeing doing that. And you know what? When you see that, these people that saying this either got a whole bunch of baby daddies, more than 2 baby daddies, or more than 3 or 2 baby mamas. Okay? And you just mad because you have yet, to find a woman or a man to wife your ass up or husband your ass up and take on the responsibility of being a step parent to your children by other niggas and other bitches. This man stepped the fuck up. This man loves her child just as much as if he was his own seed. All we see is positive images coming out from that. But y'all want to degrade her and call her a hoe because she got pregnant by her own husband. I have never, ever. So you mean to tell me every other woman who got pregnant by their husband is a hoe because they probably have another baby daddy by, What about your parents? I'm pretty sure most of the people that's saying this shit got siblings that's from different, got different daddies. I'm just saying, let's be honest. Then you trying to call your mama a hoe and you're calling your daddy a hoe. Oh, but you're not calling out Future and calling him a hoe because he got multiple baby mamas. And he ain't never married neither one of them. Okay, like, come on, y'all, stop that. Stop that bullshit. But before I end this video, I just want to talk briefly about The Walking Dead. And I literally say this to the end because I just had to build up. Shit just comes back to me, and it's just that episode, that season premiere, it was a lot. It really wasn't much to. Negan has to die. Danny Duquette, whatever, from Grey's Anatomy, you have to die again, okay? That's all I have to really say. I had a whole intermission between season 6 to season 7 to get prepared for who that one of our people might just be taken from us. That was a guarantee, okay? I didn't want it to be a main character. I really didn't, And I was okay with Abraham going. I just felt bad for Sasha because Sasha, she and him and Abraham, her and Abraham was, connecting on that level. And she lost damn near every man that came into her life, her brother, that other black guy, and it's just been a lot. It's just been a lot. Like everybody that she likes, go ahead and die or whatever. And he bashed that motherfucker head in and he said, you can suck my nuts. And he just kept on doing it. And he told them, do not get up. You can cry, you can scream, whatever, but you can't move. Daryl, he got up and tried to punch, and he did punch Negan. And because of that move, he didn't discipline them. Gave them a punishment. How? By taking that back to Glenn's head. They played us last season when we thought Glenn had got demolished by the zombies and he came out victorious. And all he was trying to do was get back to Maggie. Maggie was just trying to get help for her baby. And you bashed him in the head. Eyeball popped out and everything. And he said, Maggie, I will find you. So sweet. So sweet of a dying moment. Of all that going shit, that was the sweetest thing ever. I said, God damn, it just touched me. It just touched me, bitch. I must be about to come on because I'm a little bit too emotional. But anyway, a little bit too much information, but hey, that's life. I was just sitting here like, I can't deal. I was ready for one death, but not two. And then the way that they was playing us, they was making it seem as if Negan just went down the line and was busting everybody in the head. They took Daryl at the end. He took Rick and tried to make him his bitch, and he literally broke Rick, okay? Broke his ass, and then brought him back to the campsite and was going to have him cut that little boy hand off, his arm off. Carl was like, go ahead and do it, Dad. He was like, no, no, no. He said, that look that you got right now, that's the look that I want from you. And y'all can get y'all asses up and go give me half of what y'all get. I said, you don't do no shit like this. Nigga got to die. He got to die. He got to die. That was Walking Dead. That's all I can say about it. Y'all have a good weekend. Be good. Be safe. Y'all going to Halloween parties and shit. Be safe with that shit. I want to see some of y'all pictures of y'all costumes and shit. Tag me in it because I want to see. I want to see, bitch. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know. But I know I got to work on Monday. So, hey, we shall see. Y'all be good. Be safe. Peace.